We're joined once again by Dr. Meg Meeker. Dr. Meeker, thank you for being here. She's author of the new book, 10 Habits, or The 10 Habits of Happy Mothers, and it's a fantastic read. We have some emails. Someone said, just the point you made on the earlier show about the web is worth an hour. Much damage is being done to our young people, even if they're texting saints. Tell me, what is the danger of this technology, particularly the constant BlackBerries and the iPods?
Well, you know, it's changing the way we communicate with people, and we are fundamentally made for relationship face-to-face. And being constantly plugged into something electronic decreases the intimacy in relationships, and it leaves a void in there. And it's changing the way kids... it's not allowing kids to relate to other people on an intimate level. And I really fear that that's going to sort of stifle their ability to have deeper relationships.
I'm stunned by the visual and verbal cues that a lot of these younger people miss. You know, you raise an eyebrow, you say something kind of wryly, they don't get it at all. Can't even read it. And I think it's largely because they've been writing, you know, I heart you all day.
Exactly.
In the thing. Another email here from Philip in Edmonton, Canada. I was wondering if your guest could say a word to husbands and what they can do to help our stressed moms and mothers.
Oh, what a great man. Well, I think, you know, what women really need is, first of all, we need physical help. You know, a lot of times we're just exhausted, particularly if we have young ones at home.
Remember, we're a family show now, Dr. Meeker, so let's be careful. Go ahead. You say physical help, things go through the minds of my viewers.
Okay,
Go ahead.
all right. But we need, you know, help putting the kids to bed and help changing diapers and help getting dinner on the table. And men are often physically stronger than women. And I know I really appreciated my husband when he did that. We also need somebody not to solve our problems, because men sort of say, oh, you're stressed. Let's identify the stress, let's solve the problem and be on with it. But really what women want from their husbands is just to sit down, say, how are you? Tell me about their day, and just listen. Don't tell us what we need to fix. Just listen. That really helps wives tremendously. We just want that ear.
See, and that's not in male's nature.
It's not in male's nature.
Fix it.
Exactly.
We want to. Well, let me make this short. I find myself doing that. It's a terrible.
Yeah,
it's a terrible feeling.
because your brain is wired very differently than ours, and it's a wonderful thing.
You know, she usually hits me with something, and I come right back to my senses. Let's go to the phones. Go ahead. What's your question, Barbara?
Hi.
Hi. What's your question?
How about us? Empty nesters, us moms that are raised our children, and then also come to find out we thought we were doing a pretty darn good job, and come to find out some of our kids are not quite happy with the way we raised them.
Well, you know, a lot of that could be their stage of life, you know, your kids not being happy. And I think that there's a stage that kids go through in their early 20s and sometimes their mid-20s where they're adults and they start reevaluating what mom and dad did and they become hypercritical. I really do believe that that's a stage. And once they become parents, a lot of that criticism will fall by the wayside because they'll realize how hard it was being mom. So hang in there with them. As far as the empty nest syndrome, terrific question. I'm a fresh empty nester myself. I wrote a whole chapter on hope and how important it is for mothers to live forward, not backwards. And again, I believe that's a biblical principle. We're not to look back and ruminate over what we lost or what we did wrong, but look forward to the next best stage. There are gifts that God has given us beyond our talents as mothers that he wants us to use in the community to serve other people. And I think that during the empty nest years, it's a terrific time to kick into gear for that. It's also a terrific time to reconnect with your husband and to you know, put some passion back into your marriage. You know, you really can do that in your 50s. And when you think about the two most common thing that parents, husbands and wives fight about, it's money and kids. Yeah. Well, you know, usually you're having less money problems as you get older, and when the kids aren't gone, you have less to argue about. You just might find out that you get along pretty well.
That's right, that you actually love each other.
And you realize why you got married in the first place.
Yeah, but the house is awfully quiet. I find that when the kids travel.
It's painful for me. Yeah. And there's a grieving process that you have to go through, but that grieving process is meant to end, and then you look forward and to move forward.
Let's go to, let me, before I go to the caller, I want to ask one other question. You mentioned in the book solitude, the importance of solitude for mothers, and that it was a secret that Mother Teresa had.
Yes.
Tell us about it.
Yes. Solitude, and I believe particularly for Christians, is our prayer time. This is our time when we certainly unplug from electronics. We take noise out of our lives, and we sit there quietly for a half hour, 15 minutes. I have about 3 hours of solitude in my day, and I'm a pretty busy person. But it's extremely important for me because that's my time when God and I really, well, he tries to help me figure things out. And it's very, very important because it centers us. It takes all the noise away. The other thing that solitude does, it allows us to learn to like being with ourselves. Because when you're in solitude, you can't run away from yourself. And it's amazing how many people stay busy because they don't want to be with themselves.
Oh, good point. Good point. Let's go to the phones. Go ahead. What is your question for Dr. Meeker? Francisco.
Yes, how you guys doing?
Go ahead.
I'm getting through the book, Battle Hymn of the Tiger Mother. I heard that title mentioned on air. I'm just looking for any cues to how to get our children to sort of achieve, also being Hispanic and really worried about the huge underachievement. It sounds like a huge culture gap, but that book, the approach seems really concerning to me. What's your opinion on that?
Yeah. Well, I think she makes some terrific points, and I think she makes some very dangerous points. And here's what I mean. I think that really what she's talking about is parenting our kids believing that they are strong and capable. And we American parents often approach our kids like they're going to break, we're going to hurt them, we're going to say the wrong thing, and we do this dance around them. Like, I better not, we're always apologetic, and we need to stop that. We need to believe in ourselves and believe in our kids and raise our expectations of our kids. Here's the serious problem, and I think the flaw in the book, is it's about raising high performers, not good citizens. We need to raise children who become solid adults, who love God, who have a conscience, who know right from wrong, who want to serve, who want to give to their community, who live with integrity. And if we focus on raising high performers, we are going to focus on the superficial, not the deep things in life. So I'm all about developing strong character in kids and raising expectations of their behavior, but never substituting performance for character.
It's an interesting point. Tell me about also, we talked about it a little bit in the earlier broadcast, and it runs to the Tiger Mom's point. You feel you've got to let them try their hand at music, so they've got to take trombone and piano, and they have to be physically active, so you've got to get them in karate, and everybody's got to be graceful, so you put them in dance as well.
Right. And
you catch yourself coming and going, and I mean, I see it in my own family. Right. I see it in other families far worse. We've tried to cut back. What can people do? What should they do?
Well, I think what we need to realize is the reason we're doing this is because of our own peer pressure, parental peer pressure. The other reason we're doing it is a fear.
But isn't part of it, you want to make sure that you're not denying your child an opportunity.
Yes.
If they have a talent or a gift, look, the kid can kick up to his nose, I should put him in karate.
Yeah, but if the kid has that kind of a talent and you don't put him in karate, you will see that talent emerge. You're not going to miss it.
Okay.
Yeah, you're not going to miss it. If he is the next child prodigy in piano or something, you're not going to miss it. So you can make some mistakes in what you sign your kids up for, and God will get you covered.
Fantastic.
So that's really important. But again, our kids need more face-to-face time with us than they do doing all these other things.
Final question, and it's an email here. They're asking, they have a son who's entering the teenage years. They're concerned about the encroaching technology coming into the household. What should we do about it?
Yes.
How do we approach this?
Yeah.
I see this in my own family. Everybody wants to be engaged. They're saying, all my friends are talking, Dad. I need this for an emergency. What do you tell them?
Do you love it? I need it for an emergency, so I can call
I need
Mom.
a right arm. Yeah, exactly.
Well, first of all, I think particularly with teen boys, we need to be very careful because boys are very visual people, and they get hooked on electronic games and the internet very, very easily. I've had some boys come in my practice who are on video games upwards of 8, 10, 12 hours, and they're truly addicted. It's a very serious problem.
Right.
A couple of rules, I think, are very easy to follow. They're hard to implement because kids are going to kick and scream, but they need to be family rules, not rules for just one child, but family rules. And here are our rules. No laptops in bedrooms. No 16-year-old boy should be with a laptop alone in his bedroom for 3 or 4 hours. It's giving them way too much temptation. It's being irresponsible as parents. When we do have computers, which we all have in our homes, they need to be in fairly public places. If something bad pops up on the screen and a son sees it and mom's close by stirring a pot of spaghetti, how long is he going to allow that to stay on the screen? Not very long. So it's sort of, we're building in safety measures for our kids. So all of these rules, I encourage parents to have electronic free time sometime during the week for all kids. I like it on a daily basis. 1 hour, 2 hours, electronic-free family time for every family. And that means that mom and dad have to turn off their BlackBerries too.
Right. All right.
Not only do our kids have to unplug, but I think that if we set those parameters for our sons, and parents are afraid to do it, because of this, I need this, and all my friends do. Well, I don't care what your friends do. Call me the crazy mom and the crazy dad. You're just stuck with me. You know, that's what I always said to my kids.
Doesn't sound like crazy to me.
Yeah.
Dr. Meg Meeker,
thank you, Ray.
as always, for being here. The 10 Habits of Happy Mothers, Reclaiming Our Passion, Purpose, and Sanity is available at bookstores everywhere, and it's a great read. Meg Meeker, thank you for being here. Hope you'll come back soon.
I would love to.
Thank you.